It has been one of those weeks. And because it has been one of those weeks, I thought today would be the perfect day to just sit down and chat all things honest motherhood, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I went through some of my AMA questions because, in case you're unfamiliar, every Monday I host an Ask Me Anything over on my Instagram. Get it? Monday Ask Me Anything. Mama, I love that. And so I pulled some of those that hadn't related to my week this week. And I just thought we can, just chat it out. So I got this incredibly sweet message over on Instagram. There's a few things I want to highlight in this. I will say that I have gotten more patient and less overstimulated as a mother the more kids I had. One, I'm completely flattered that you think I have it under control because so many days I do not. So many days I do lose my stuff. But I will say that something I have been just literally praying for has been patience. I have been praying for more and more patience, and the Lord has delivered. He truly has answered my prayers when it comes to patience. Now I still lose it. I'm still at the best. My whole life, I've been really quick to anger. We have a running joke in my family that's just that hot Italian blood in me.
Don't talk to me the way you're talking
I'm talking to you the way that you're talking to me. Stop talking. I'm driving.
The way he has provided patience for me hasn't been just okay, you're cured, you're patient now. No, he's given me situations to practice that patience. And so already having more kids, you have to surrender. You have to surrender. So I see moms with 2 kids and they'll tell me I don't know how you're doing it. I'm losing it with 2. I was losing it with 2 as well. I thought there was no way we could have more kids because I felt like I could barely keep up with the 2 I did have. But when I had baby number 3 and baby number 4, it was you just have to surrender more. So Tim and I have this joke about our house, right? With the 2 older boys, when they were little, our house was still very manageable. We got all new furniture because we moved. We had all new furniture and everything looked really, really nice. And then by the time baby number 3 came, just everything changed. We couldn't keep up. There was markers on the walls. There was all this stuff that we couldn't keep up with on a maintenance level in terms of the house. And baby number 3 really showed us that we just have to surrender. And I used to be a clean freak to the point it would disrupt my attitude and my day, right? If things were out of order, I had a very hard time focusing. I had a very hard time being happy if I felt like the house wasn't exactly organized. I'm not talking about in a crazy big mess. I'm talking if the things were just a little out of order, I had a hard time being happy if things weren't exactly as is. And that was really affecting me as a mother. So by the time baby number 3 came and I had 3 under 3, I had to learn to give up and surrender some things. And that's kind of where this journey of patience and more understanding and really not just surviving in motherhood, but thriving in it came from. Now, I'm not necessarily saying you need to go have a bunch of kids to get there. But that is how God answered the prayer to me. And obviously, all these children are a blessing in many, many more ways. But I believe him giving me the life that he has given me has helped me grow in my patience. And another thing too is with more kids, I've yielded more experience and I've been doing motherhood, for 9 years. And so there's a little bit more time. So time and experience just yield more patience in general. Now, I'm no expert by any means, but I'm just saying if you're a new mom and it's your first time with 2 under 2 or your first time with just 1 and you feel like you're always losing it, I was there too. It took me time and it took me prayer. One of the biggest things I live by is through Christ I can do all things, meaning we weren't meant to deal with most of the stuff we deal with on our own. When tragedy happens or we're feeling completely overwhelmed, we're not meant to figure it out on our own. Sometimes God puts us in those situations so that we have to lean on him through those times. So I know there are some of you who follow me who may not be the most religious, and maybe this conversation isn't as appealing to you, but I have to be honest on where this comes from because it doesn't come from just me. And so when you look at my videos, always keep in mind that it's social media. It is a highlight reel. As much as I try to be as authentic as I can, one thing I will never do is show my children having a tantrum, ever. So you are not seeing that part. But I will say the way Tim and I handle these tantrums is vastly different than how we used to handle them. I used to get overwhelmed. I used to even maybe scream back at my children. It breaks my heart, but I used to get really mad. And now Tim and I just sometimes you just not laugh at them by any means, but we kind of chuckle at each other because we also know it's a season. That's another thing. We have so much perspective. With the amount of children, we are able to gain perspective. So when we see our 2-year-old having a really hard time and he's got a pair of lungs on him, When we see him really struggling, it doesn't trigger me the way it did when I was a younger, less experienced mom, because I'm well aware that I'm like, this is just a season. This is not my new normal. He is going to grow out of this. That's a mantra I totally live by. This is just a season. And it's the biggest advice I give to all moms. People ask me, what's one piece of advice you can give to any new mom? I would say it's all just a season. So when you are in postpartum, when you're in those sleepless nights, when you feel like you're never going to be done breastfeeding, all those things, you have to tell yourself, this is just a season. Just like life. Life is filled with seasons, and same with motherhood. So whenever you're thinking this is your new normal, I promise you it's not. I promise, just give it a few months and it's completely gonna change. When this all just segues into the very first question, and it's the number one question I get every AMA. Best advice for a new mom who is struggling. And I jump in with motherhood comes in seasons. What your life looks like now is not what your life is going to look like in just a few months from now. The best metaphor I use in this situation is like, think when you're trying to get in shape, you're trying to work out, you want to build muscle. In order to build muscle, you have to tear it a little bit. So you have to break it down a little bit in order for it to build back up stronger. And that's what postpartum is. So for all my new mamas, that's how I look at postpartum. I'm like, this is strength training. It is training me to be the strong mama that I am supposed to be for my babies, that I know I can be for my babies. How do you stay so positive? Like I said, I definitely lose it, and I'm not always positive, but I will say I am positive, or at least try to be most of the time. And that really comes down to gratitude. Now we hear this all the time. Oh, a grateful heart's a happy heart. Yes. How do we practice gratitude? So I'm going to give you some concrete examples from my day-to-day that help me and they keep me staying positive. Okay. So I was homeschooling my eldest. We were outside and it was a crazy morning. And I always make myself this iced matcha latte every single morning. And the morning was so jam-packed. It was on my feet. I'm still in my pajamas, haven't even gotten dressed. And I finally get around to making my matcha latte, like I think 12 o'clock. And I go outside to go homeschool my son, and we're homeschooling. And then my 2-year-old comes up and he likes to try new things and he loves having a sip of my latte. He comes up, I don't really notice what he's doing, takes my latte and spills it everywhere. All right, there's two ways about this. Now, 3 years ago, I probably would have cried. No, I'm not kidding you. I would have just cried. And I would have let out a very annoyed in front of all my kids. I would have said something like, I just wanted my latte. That's all I wanted. I got no sleep last night. The baby was nursing all night. I haven't even gotten dressed. I barely got to brush my teeth. I've been homeschooling. The laundry's piling up and I've been trying to stay on top of that. And all I wanted was this 5 minutes to just drink my little latte, and I can't even have that. But when that happened, I kind of chuckled and I was like, you know what? I can make another one. And then I started listing just kind of everything around me. I said, the fact that I can just make another one, that's what I mean. Oh, there's a baby frog outside I'm doing this at my window and there's a baby frog right there and the kids are eating it up. And so you're probably hearing them. I forgot where I left off. That is how I would have handled it 3 years ago. But this time around, I kind of just chuckled. I said, you know what? I can make another one. And I took a minute and I looked around and the sky was blue. There was this gentle breeze coming through. We were outside homeschooling. My son and I were actually having a really good time reading this book together. I was getting to spend this quality time with my babies. And then I had this 2-year-old. He wasn't trying to start any trouble. He just was really interested in trying something new. And so I was like, I'm grateful that you want to try new things and have a sip of mommy's latte. And he just wanted to be near me. And I started to realize wow, this time's so short, looking at my 2-year-old and then looking at my 9-year-old. I was like, this time is so short. It goes by so fast. And I said, you know what? Let's just take a little break. I'm going to make myself another latte because I was really looking forward to this. It'll take me 5 minutes. And I did. It's such a shift if you can, in the moment, regulate yourself and start pinpointing everything you're grateful for. I always go back to, I'm healthy. My kids are healthy. Because here's the thing. They say, hey, baby. Because there's that saying, it's you have 100 problems until you become unhealthy, then you only have one problem. And it's so true. It's so true. So whenever in doubt, if I'm really agitated, if I can go back to I'm healthy, my kids are healthy, we are able-bodied. My light just died, so that's why the lighting's off, but I also feel that might be my cue to wrap this up. I know I didn't get to answer to as many questions as I would had to have, but my daughter's in here, and I'm thinking she wants to spend some time with me, so I'm going to log off. But this was a really good, honest hour. I think that's what we're going to call this chat, the honest hour. And even though it wasn't a full hour, I do apologize, but I think it's my time to go. Tim has been holding down the floor with all the little kids so I could make this. So I'm going to go and join him. But if you're enjoying this face-to-face, just vulnerable, honest chats, like, subscribe, save. I don't know what they say here. I'm still learning. I should probably learn what that tagline is because it helps me know what content you like, and I'll make sure I keep coming back to do that.